Hi guys, for video 2 of Women in the Body, I want to talk a little bit about what the desiring body is and how society perceives this desiring body to be. The desiring body basically is something that I would describe as the body that wants to have sex with whoever it wants to have. So many individuals in society have this desiring body of, I want to have sex with this person or this person. But a lot of society factors come into play, which is why we have this stigma that's attached to some individuals of being gay or lesbian or sleeping with transgendered men or transgendered women. And these society norms are really focused on this culture, on this idea, and these views that men are supposed to sleep with women and women are supposed to sleep with men. And that's the only normal thing or the only acceptable thing that we see in society. For example, Gail Rubin talks about the idea of how sex is presumed to be guilty until proven innocent. And he mentions this in the article that we talk about named Think Sex. And this certain idea really stuck out to me because in society we see sex as something that can be normal or can be abnormal. So many individuals in society may think that sex should only be for married couples or couples that are together or couples that are dating. And it really comes to a focus, or it's really different when people have sex outside of this partnership or relationship. Not only that, but this culture always treats sex with suspicion. It construes and judges almost any sexual practice in terms of its worst possible expression. That's also a quote from Think Sex. And what Rubin mentions is very true. He mentions that, this culture and the society that we live in and the norms that we have are really judging towards the way that other people have sexual relationships and the way that their bodies desire other bodies. I think one of the big factors, or one of the big things that a lot of people that don't follow this normal desiring body, this actual desiring body of sleeping with man, if you're a woman or if you're a man sleeping with a woman, is that they have this stigma attached to them and they have this category placed upon their life that, because you don't classify yourself as being straight, now you're placed into this category of you're gay, you're lesbian, you're, having sex with a transgendered man or a transgendered woman. And that's where the article Straight Men Who Have Sex with Trans Women come into play. In this article, we see how Matt sleeps with a transgendered woman. And the controversy behind this is, so is Matt gay now, or is he just fallen in love with the transgender woman that this individual has become? And this is really, in our society, maybe it's evoked in a completely different way as the way that Matt sees it. So Matt, maybe he falls in love with this person that is considers himself to be a woman, and because he considers himself to be a woman, then then Matt is not gay. But if he were to place this upon society, many people would stigmatize him as being gay because he had sexual relations with someone that's a transgendered woman. And this is where our culture really is back and forth on this idea and is really controversial of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Not only that, but what should be the right thing to do and what should not be the right thing to do. And the norms that we have placed in our lives and in society and the lives of people really affects the way that people project their desiring body. On another note, we know that masturbation is a huge issue for some people. Gail Rubin mentions that the idea that masturbation is an unhealthy practice is part of that heritage. So he basically mentions that, masturbation is seen to be unhealthy and seen to be abnormal. Not only that, but he also mentions that masturbation is not something that society seems to be comfortable with, and many individuals that have a desiring body, would have to oppose to that certain judgment or that certain idea because their desiring body says otherwise. Their desiring body and the person that they want to have sex with or the person that they want to be available to says completely otherwise, or they feel a certain way that they think masturbation is okay, or they think that it's okay to have sex with whoever they want. And that's really the controversy behind what society believes and what individuals believe in the society of controversy. I also want to mention a little bit about women in porn. So we read an article called Porn for Women, and it was really interesting to see how, porn for women has evolved over time, and it comes back and forth to different ideas and different ways that women express themselves, and women have evoked their desiring body to a different extent. Many individuals in society would feel that women should not be watching porn, or that men should not be watching porn, yet porn has become available for women and available for men. And the article says that mainstream porn sites do contain porn specifically aimed for women. And it has explicit information, explicit stuff, and there's different kinds of porn for women, girl on girl porn, that's what the article mentions, and just different porn that people would want to watch. And in society, the idea of society would be that individuals shouldn't be watching that. Why? Because it's the idea still behind them wanting to set the standards, and for individuals to conform to this category of men marrying women and women marrying men and having sex with each other, instead of going out and trying to find a desire or trying to find other factors that add on to their desiring body and the way that they evaluate themselves, or the way that they want to have sex, or just different standards that the society sets on women and on men and transgendered women. And not only that, but it really elaborates on the factors that this stigma that's attached to all of these individuals, and the stigma that's attached to what happens when you don't follow the norm is really an extent of what category you're going to be placed into, and a lot of people aren't really able to express themselves or express their sexual pleasure because of this judgment that's placed upon their lives, and the idea that, you know, it's not okay to express your desiring body really affects how individuals are perceived. And if they're not following the certain standards that society has held upon them, then they're seen to be different. And that's really, the idea of what the sexual and the desiring body is, and how they should be, and then opposed to the controversy of, what people want to be like and society doesn't let them. So that's a little bit about what I wanted to discuss. Thank you so much for watching.